welcome. For this practice, you are going to need a couple of props. So I invite you to grab either a yoga block or a thick book or two, and then a yoga bolster or a couch cushion, a couple of firm pillows, whatever you have lying around, just a couple of things that can help support you. We're going to use these closer to the end. So while you're grabbing your props, I'll just kind of let you know what we're doing for our practice today. So we are doing a yang to yin flow. All that means is that we're starting off with a little bit more energy. We're going to be doing more standing postures, getting your energy kind of moving and flowing, really using your breath. And then towards the end, we're really going to slow it down, stretch it out. And so this should feel really nice and balancing for your body, where we're getting that energy up and then we're bringing everything down. So I invite you to set your intention for whatever you need this practice to be. This can be a catch-all for anything that you need. I invite you to embrace the challenge. If there's parts of this practice that feel really challenging for your body or new, just embrace it. No judgment, no expectations. Just show up, do your best, and that's all this practice is about. So we'll go ahead and get started. We're actually going to start standing. So if you're on a yoga mat, go ahead and make your way up closer towards the top. And I invite you to bring your big toes together to touch here. Make sure your feet are nice and grounded. And maybe just kind of feel into what that feels like here. Your arms are nice and heavy by your sides, your palms face forward. And if it feels stable and safe for you, I invite you to close your eyes down just for a few moments. If not, you can just keep your gaze down towards the tip of your nose and just start to tune into your breath here. So before we start to move, just simply notice your breathing. Let your shoulders be heavier down your back here. And we are going to use what we call ujjayi breathing today. So if you don't know what that is, I'll sort of walk you through the steps to do that. So if you can, go ahead and just start breathing in through your nostrils and then breathing out through your nostrils. So just take that a few times, a few rounds of breath in and out through your nose. Nice, slow, deep, steady breathing. And you may already notice that maybe there's some blockages there. Maybe it feels a little challenging to breathe in and out through your nose. And that's okay. Just notice what challenges, what blocks come up here. Do your best. And then as you continue inhaling and exhaling through your nostrils, go ahead and start to just very slightly constrict the back of your throat, almost like you're fogging up a mirror, but you're still breathing in and out through your nose. So you're going to notice when you do that, it might be a little louder, might sound more like an ocean wave as you inhale and exhale. I don't know if you can hear that through my mic, but I'm also doing it. And if you can hear it, my breathing gets just a little bit louder. So again, do your best. This type of breathing can be activating. Like, it is meant to get your body going, get your energy moving, give you a little bit of oomph in your movement and in your flow. So if you feel some activation with this, know that that's normal, and just see if you can work through that. See if you can move and breathe through that. Always listen to your body. If something just feels way too overwhelming, of course you can pull back, but I invite you to challenge yourself as much as you can today and just see where that takes you. Alrighty, if your eyes are closed, go ahead and slowly start to blink them open. And again, continue this ujjayi breath if you can. Do your best here. We're going to start to move a little bit. So on an inhale, start to sweep your arms all the way up to the sky. Maybe your palms touch, maybe not. And then on an exhale, you're going to dive it down to your first forward fold. When you arrive, go ahead and check in on your feet. Make sure your toes are still touching. Maybe your fingertips or the palms of your hands are all the way down on the floor. Just take a couple more moments Totally okay if your knees have to bend here. 1 or 2 more rounds of breath. And then on an inhale, lengthen your spine. Halfway lift, just look slightly up in front of you. And then exhale, fold. We're going to take that 2 more times. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Last one, inhale. Exhale to fold. This time, inhale, lengthen. On your exhale, step your feet back to downward facing dog. So as you step your feet back, you want to feel your hips and your sit bones pushing up towards the sky, nice and elevated here. Maybe take a look at your feet. They're about hips width distance apart. Take a couple more rounds of breath here and just kind of notice, where do you feel tension, activation, energy moving in your body here? Option to gaze towards your feet or towards your belly button. Really push the ground away with your hands. 1 more breath here. On your next inhale, go ahead and push forward into either a plank position, or you can lower your knees to half plank. Take just a moment or two here wherever you land. On your exhale, bend your elbows, lower your chest halfway down to the ground, and then inhale, untuck your toes, push your chest up through your arms, upward facing dog. Hold here for a couple rounds of breath. So you're pushing the ground away with your hands. Tops of your feet are nice and grounded. Try to pull your legs, your knees up towards the sky. And then on an exhale, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Take a few deep rounds of breath here. Notice how your body feels. We're going to take that 3 more times. And each time, we're going to move just a tiny bit faster, taking the exact same sequence. So go ahead and look up between your hands. Inhale, step forward, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise, stand all the way up. Sweep those arms all the way up as you go. Exhale, dive it straight back down, forward fold. Plant those hands or fingertips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your feet back, downward facing dog. Holding here for a couple rounds of breath. Get your footing. Notice your hands, notice your feet. On your inhale, push forward into plank or half plank. Exhale, lower halfway down. Inhale, untuck those toes. Push your chest up through your arms. 1 or 2 more rounds of breath here. Tops of your feet are grounded. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 or 3 rounds of breath here. Check back in with that Ujjayi breathing. Alrighty, inhale, look up between your hands. Halfway lift, top of your mat. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise, sweep those arms all the way up as you go. Exhale, dive it straight back down, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step your feet back, downward facing dog. We're inhaling straight into that plank, whatever version you take. Exhale, lower down halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Push that chest all the way through your arms. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hold here, this time about 3 or 4 more rounds of breath. Oh, check in with yourself. Notice how your body feels. Maybe you're building heat. Maybe this movement feels very new to you, very challenging. Maybe it feels somewhat familiar. Just notice how you feel here. We're going to have 1 last round of that, and then we'll change it up. Go ahead and look up between your hands. Step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rise. Sweep those arms all the way up as you go. Exhale, dive it straight back down, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, straight forward into plank. Exhale, lower halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Awesome. 2 or 3 rounds of breath here. Alrighty, we're going to take 1 more standing sequence on both sides. And then we're gonna slow things down a little bit. Go ahead and look up between your hands. Inhale, step forward, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rise, sweep those arms all the way up. This time on your exhale, bring your hands together at heart center. Take a few moments of breath here. If you need to ditch that ujjayi breath just for a few rounds, that's okay. Notice your heart rate. Notice how your body feels here. Alrighty. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and keep your right foot grounded. Inhale, step your left foot back. We're moving into a high lunge here. Exhale when you arrive. You can keep your hands at heart center, or option to bring your arms all the way up to the sky. Maybe your gaze stays at something directly in front of you, or maybe your gaze goes up towards the sky. That's going to be a lot more of a challenge on your balance. So just check in. We're holding for 3. You got this. For 2, that right knee, front leg is bent. For 1, inhale, straighten that right leg. On an exhale, turn to the left. So both toes now, you're facing the left side of where you just were. Everything is facing forward. Keep your hands at heart center, and then when you're ready, make sure your feet are grounded. Bring your hands to your hips, and then on your exhale, start to hinge forward. We're taking a wide-legged forward fold here. Plant your hands. If they're not quite reaching the ground, you can grab that block or that book and place your hands on that. And then just listen to your body here. Just check in. What feels good here? Maybe you just want to stay for a couple rounds of breath. If you're staying in stillness, try to let your head, neck, and shoulders, especially your head and neck, just let it all go here. Your crown of your head is nice and heavy towards the floor. Maybe you want to bend through one knee and then the other. 2 or 3 rounds of breath wherever you're at here. And then when you're ready, inhale, lengthen your spine, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Again, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Awesome. Inhale. Exhale, start to walk your hands forward. So you're pivoting all of your toes forward. So we're back facing the front of the mat, the direction that we started. And then when you're ready, your left foot meets your right foot, forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, sweep those arms all the way up as you go. Exhale, taking it to the other side. Step that right foot back. Same options with your hands. You can keep them together at heart center. You can keep them extended up. Maybe if you want to challenge yourself, play with your gaze. Maybe it's in front of you. Maybe it's up towards your thumbs. For 3. For 2. You got this. For 1. Inhale, straighten your left leg. Same transition. Exhale. Turn towards the right, all of your toes, everything pivots towards that way. And then same thing, bring your hands to your hips, and you can start to fold all the way down here. So same option. You can just stay in stillness. You can find some movement side to side. Maybe play with your hand position. Maybe walk your hands back towards between your feet. Maybe walk your hands towards your left foot. Hold for a couple rounds of breath. Maybe towards your right foot. These are all just suggestions, just options. Just kind of tuning into what you need here. 2 or 3 more rounds of breath. We're almost done with the standing sequence. And then as you're ready, bring your hands to your hips. And then inhale, stand all the way up. Use the strength in your legs and your core. Awesome. Exhale, go ahead and face the front and step your right foot to meet your left. Awesome. Just a little different transition there. Alrighty. Heel toe your feet about hips width distance apart. One more thing, one more standing stretch, and then we're going to take it to the floor. Make sure your feet are nice and grounded. We're gonna take a forward fold here. So on an inhale, just start to hinge forward all the way down. Exhale, take your peace fingers and see if you can wrap them around your big toes. Okay, so this is really important here. On an inhale, lengthen your spine. Really pull your belly button towards your spine. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, keep that length in your spine as you fold. And maybe that means that you don't move. Maybe you don't move an inch or even half an inch or a centimeter. That's okay. You don't want to round through your spine. So you can see the difference for me when my spine is lengthened and I'm folding forward versus rounding through my spine. It's just a safety thing. It just protects your lower back. Holding here for about 3 more rounds of breath. Crown of your head is nice and heavy towards the floor for 3. See if you can straighten your legs just a little bit more for 2. Last push for 1. And go ahead and release. Bring your hands to your hips. Stand all the way up on an inhale. Exhale. Shake your hands out. Shake your legs out, your feet out. You can ditch that ujjayi breath if that's what you've been doing this whole time. Take just a few moments here before we sit down and just notice what your body needs here. Maybe you just need to shake it out. Maybe you need to get into your shoulders, into your neck. Maybe you need to rock side to side. So we just built up a lot of energy. Notice how that feels. Maybe you're out of breath. Maybe you're sweating. Maybe that just felt really good. Alrighty. When you're ready, we're going to just transition it down to the floor. So take your time to get there, all the way down. Alrighty. So this is where your props are going to come in handy. So I'm going to give you, we're all going to take a similar, what we call supported fish. We're going to take supported fish, but I'm going to give you a couple different options. So after I give you the options, I invite you maybe to pause the video and just kind of play around with which option you want to settle into. It's going to be different for everyone just depending on where your body's at. So traditional supported fish, I'll show you, is with a yoga bolster or whatever you have, and you sit up against it. Make sure it's nice and stable against you. And then you lay all the way back over, and you can, once you arrive, you can just kind of check in to see how you want your legs. Maybe you want them straight out in front of you, maybe bent knees, maybe crossed, whatever. It doesn't matter what you do with your legs, just as long as you feel that opening in your front side body and you just let everything else go. So that's option number 1. That is going to be the most supported version of this. So that's probably going to feel the most restorative and the most relaxing. If you feel like you need more for your shoulders, if you need more of a back bend, like you just want it to be a little bit more intense, option 2 is to take that block or that book. If it feels like it's digging into like your shoulders or your back, you can always place a blanket over it, whatever you need to do. So go ahead and place that just like so at whatever sort of height. I'm just kind of putting mine on the medium height. You're gonna want to lay back over that in a similar way, but you're not gonna have as much support. So that block or book is gonna kind of land somewhere under your shoulder blades or around that area. So this is one of those postures that you really kind of have to take time to adjust into. That's why I said maybe pause the video, maybe play with it. So you'll see the top of the block is just underneath my shoulder blades. And then for me, feels so nice. So for me, this is how I would choose to settle into this right now. This is what my body's kind of feeling. But some days that feels way too intense for me. So pick your poison, pick whatever you feel like you need, and just take a few moments, settle in. Again, take your time. I'm gonna move my props out of the way just so I can kind of walk you through settling into this. But again, your choice, whatever you need here. We're gonna be here for about maybe 2 minutes or so. Just allow yourself to settle in. And then as you're settling here, as I'm catching my breath, notice how this feels in your body. So if you're taking the more supported version, maybe you notice a nice, just like, oh, I can just let my body go. I can release. If you're taking the more backbendy, a little bit more intense version, maybe you notice that you're really getting into that tension in your shoulders and your upper back, maybe even in your neck. Maybe you're really getting in there. And like maybe it's it hurts so good sensation where you know you need it, but it's like, it's not the most comfortable. So just check in. What sensations are coming up for you in this shape? There's no right or wrong. There's no expectations of how your body should feel today. And then once you're settled, tune back in with your breath. And just notice what it feels like to just breathe. Maybe you're breathing through some intense sensation, some tension. Maybe you're just breathing, letting go of something here. If you had a specific intention for your practice today, maybe tune back into that. Notice, what did you need practice for? What are you trying to accomplish from your practice today? Just a few more rounds of breath here, allowing your brain, your body to just come down a little bit more, settling into a little bit of stillness, a little bit of silence. And then as you're ready, take your time. Depending on which option you chose, you want to be really careful of how you sit up. So we're going to meet back in a seat. Take your time to arrive. Be really gentle with your spine. Be really aware of your spine here. There's no rush. Again, if you need to pause the video, take another moment here. And then when you've met me in a seat, go ahead and just take a nice easy seat with one ankle crossed in front of the other if that's accessible for you today. Plant your hands on the tops of your legs. Well, actually to start, let's take a twist to the side. So go ahead and just twist. It doesn't matter one side or the other. Be really gentle, really aware of your spine here. Just a couple rounds of breath. And then go ahead and come back to center and just take it to the other side. Again, noticing your spine. Any sensations here. Come back to center. Plant your hands on the tops of your legs. We're going to take some seated cat-cows. So on an inhale, pull your chest through your arms. Maybe your gaze goes up a little bit. Exhale, round through your spine, pull your chin towards your chest, almost like you're pulling yourself back a little bit. And then on your next exhale, push your chest through, arch your spine. Exhale, round your spine, chin to chest. Couple more rounds like this. Just move with your rhythm of your breath, however slow or fast that naturally is today. Feel into your spine, feel into your back body, feel into your heart space. One or two more rounds. Go ahead and come back to neutral when you're ready. Take a moment here. Check in with your shoulders, your neck, your back. And then we're going to move into one last stretch, one last little flow here. Plant your fingertips in front of you. On an inhale, again, lengthen through your spine. Let your shoulders be heavy down your back. Exhale, walk your hands forward. We're making our way to a forward fold. Notice how this feels in your hips and your knees. Don't come all the way down yet. Keep your fingertips planted and just come down just kind of as low as you can here. And then inhale, lengthen your spine, straighten through your arms. Exhale, fold. So we're taking a few flowy rounds here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. 3 more, inhale. Exhale. Last 2 at your own pace. And as you fold down, go ahead and allow yourself to settle into this fold. We'll be here for about a minute or so. If you need props here, if it is super, super uncomfortable, or it's just not serving your body to be all the way down, you can grab your props and you can use those to bring the ground closer to you, just to help this feel a little bit more restorative in your body if that's what you need. Or maybe you need the bigger stretch and you want to come all the way down. So check in with yourself. Notice what kind of a forward fold you need here. And wherever you land in this, see if you can ground your forehead or your chin all the way down. This is our last shape before we start to close out practice. So I invite you, wherever you're at here, what can you let go of in your physical body? Maybe there's still some tension hanging out in your arms, shoulders, maybe your hips or your legs. And you release just a little bit more. Maybe check in with that space between your eyebrows. Letting go there, all the way down into your cheekbones, your jaw, releasing, softening through your face. Four or 5 more rounds of breath here. Bringing everything back down, regrounding, recentering. Take your time here. If you need to stay for a few more moments, stay. If you're ready, slowly and gently start to sit all the way back up. And then it might feel good here to straighten your legs in front of you. Maybe get a little bit more movement, circulation back into your lower body here. Taking a couple of movements, maybe pointing and flexing through your feet. Alrighty. If you have a few more minutes, if you have some time, I really encourage you to lay down and just take rest for another minute or 2 or 3 or 5, whatever you have, just to further let your body go, release everything. If you don't have that time and you want to finish out practice with me, you can go ahead and just meet me in a seat. Bring your hands together at heart center. One last time, I invite you to close your eyes down here and just ask yourself, what did this practice feel like for me? What were some challenges that came up? What were some frustrations? And maybe what is something that I learned? Maybe you just learned that you can be present with yourself. Maybe you learned that you can release some tension from your day. It doesn't have to be super deep. And then let's finish with 3 rounds of breath together. Go ahead and inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth, let it go. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Last one, inhale. And exhale, release. Thank you so much for joining me, for showing up for yourself first and foremost. And as always, I will see you next time.